Hi guys. Well, I've got another letter that I'm going to mail out. And this one's going to go to NBC Channel 4 News to the reporter Julie Carey, who did Mustafa's story from the accident. So this is for you, Julie. I know you watched the podcast and everything regarding this case. So this is for you. And I'm going to read it to you and I'm going to mail it to you and I'm going to email it to you. So anyway, here we go. Dear Ms. Carey, in April 2023, I watched your news broadcast regarding the case of Mustafa Al-Jazari, and after thoroughly reviewing all the body camera footage and documents released by Not Another Boring Podcast across various social media platforms, I must express serious concerns regarding the accuracy of the narrative presented in your report. The evidence I have seen, including the footage and documents, clearly shows that this was a motor vehicle accident, not an intentional act as suggested in your coverage. The facts do not align with the narrative you put forward, and it appears that critical information was either overlooked or misrepresented in the segment. Given this, I respectfully ask that you do a follow-up report with Mustafa Al-Jazari's family, who hold evidence supporting his innocence. This includes clear documentation regarding the mechanical failure of his vehicle and findings from the investigation that suggest police misconduct. Mustafa's treatment in custody, including prolonged solitary confinement and allegations of abuse, further underscores the urgency of revisiting this case. As a journalist who has the power to shape public understanding, your platform has the potential to correct the misleading narrative and bring justice to light. I urge you to give the Al-Jazari family an opportunity to present the full scope of evidence they have. Thank you for your time and for considering this matter. I hope you will take the necessary steps to ensure this case receives the comprehensive, accurate coverage it is so desperately needed. Sincerely, KC. So, Julie Carey, you got a letter coming. And everybody out here knows I wrote you, so let's see what you're going to do. If you're going to ignore this case or you're going to just go ahead and do what we asked you to do. Okay, talk to you all later. Bye. Hi, guys. Well, I've got another.
This is Not Another Boring Podcast. Mustafa through the police body cams. Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope. I want to thank everybody for being here. Bustos, thank you for joining our TikTok channel. We're broadcasting on TikTok under Not Another Boring Podcast. We're broadcasting on YouTube under Not Another Boring Podcast. Now, I'm going to tell everybody to switch back and forth between our TikTok channel and our YouTube channel. The advantage of the YouTube channel is we're going to be playing exhibits, body cams, documents that are being leaked from the Mustafa Al-Jazari file. The Commonwealth Attorney have sealed the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. What that means, when you put in a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, your FOIA is going to be denied. And this Commonwealth Attorney is not releasing anything in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Unfortunately for this Commonwealth Attorney, we have the whole entire file. We've leaked it on the internet, on the YouTube channel, under Not Another Boring Podcast. So every time we play a video in this podcast, I'm going to remind everybody that's on TikTok that a certain exhibit, a certain body cam, a certain document is being played on the YouTube channel. The advantage of the YouTube channel is that we can actually do that. We haven't figured out how to do that on TikTok, but I think there is a program that that lets you do that. I think it's called TikTok Studio. It's used for video game streamers. I think it's called something Twitch. I haven't figured how to do that yet, but we're working on it. I want to specifically thank Casey. Casey is writing a number of letters out to certain individuals in this county and out of this county, government officials, that this is happening on their watch. Now, the Commonwealth Attorney is telling this community that Mustafa intentionally drove into oncoming traffic, that Mustafa was arguing inside the vehicle. Now, the Commonwealth Attorney has not released the dash camera. What is the Commonwealth Attorney so terrified that she's not releasing this dash camera? Now, a year and a half into the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth released to NBC4, and NBC4 aired an edited version of the dash camera. Now, what am I talking about? Literally, Julie Carey released an edited version of the dash camera. I mean, on NBC4, and we're going to play what NBC4 aired out. And this is a year and a half into it. She never told this community there's a dash camera. I mean, the narrative that's coming out of the Commonwealth Attorney is so ridiculous. She's telling this community that Mustafa drove his vehicle into oncoming traffic. Wait a minute, he's in the vehicle. I mean, what are you talking about? He drove himself into oncoming traffic? Interesting. The Commonwealth Attorney, for a year and a half, did not tell this community there's a dash camera. I mean, how ridiculous is this narrative? That you have a dash camera inside your car and you drove your vehicle. I mean, she's charging Mustafa with premeditated. So you're telling me that, according to the prosecutor, that Mustafa premeditated this. And she doesn't tell you he did it on the last second, because premeditated is a broad definition. It could be days in advance. It could be a minute. It could be the last second. But the prosecutor in court, and we have the audio to the proceeding, where she says, Mustafa premeditated this days in advance. Okay, all right, so this is your narrative? You're telling us that Mustafa premeditated this, but left his dash camera inside his vehicle? A dash camera that he've had for over 5 years? I mean, that narrative is so ridiculous. I mean, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around what this prosecutor is telling us. And then to find out that Mustafa was not wearing a seatbelt. So you're telling me that this man premeditated this days in advance, left his dash camera, and this dash camera sees the inside of the vehicle and sees the outside of the vehicle, was not wearing his seatbelt, and drove himself into oncoming traffic? I mean, at one point, the Commonwealth Attorney tells this community there is no audio in this dash camera. That she went as far as got a lip reader. Hold on now. Your lip reader is not lip reading an argument. Literally, the lip reader is not lip reading an argument. And you ask yourself, why is this lip reader not lip reading an argument? Instead, he says in the filing, in the document, he says, Dorothy said, I want to get out of the car. Well, hold on now. You got a lip reader. You're telling us that they were arguing inside the vehicle, and your lip reader is not lip reading the argument. And the details that's coming out of this case is that when you open this dash camera, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette. Not once, not twice, 6 times. No wonder this Commonwealth Attorney is so terrified. And she's not releasing this dash camera. And then when she does release a portion of the dash camera, you've got NBC4 Julie Carey editing this dash camera and is taking it out of context. The document in this file, Officer Zymus with Digital Forensic admit that this dash camera does have audio. But you've got the Commonwealth Attorney telling this community there is no audio. And then this Commonwealth Attorney went as far as hired a lip reader. I mean, as a Commonwealth Attorney, when you're digital forensic with the police department is telling you there is audio in this dash camera. I mean, let's go over the document. This is a document where digital forensic is telling Commonwealth Amy Ashworth that there is audio in this dash camera. Let's go over to the document. So that way you don't have to sit here and take my word for it. I mean, this is a document that the Commonwealth attorney hid from this community. And Julie Carey is not telling us about it. I mean, Julie Carey is going to come out and tell you, well, I didn't know there is a document where digital forensic is saying there is audio. Well, now you do. This document has been now released where you can't hide behind that you didn't know. Why are you not updating this community that in the Mustafa Al-Jazari filing, this is Officer Zymas, why is Julie Carey not updating this community that in the Mustafa Al-Jazari filing, in the Mustafa Al-Jazari file, a document is now being leaked that this dash camera does have audio? Who says that? Officer Zymas with digital forensic. This is Officer Zymas.
My name is Katie Zamis. I'm a detective in digital forensics on the Prince William County Police Department.
All right, so this is Officer Zymas. So that way we know who's putting this document in the Mustafa Al-Jazari file. This is a document that was put in Mustafa Al-Jazari case on April 24, 2023 at 8:13 a.m. Okay? The document reads, although the last several videos recorded on the device did not appear to have sound. So what she says here is several. Wait a minute. This dash camera is very sophisticated, that it sees the outside. It has a lens facing outward. It's facing inward. It has audio. It's a Rexon dash camera. I mean, if you were to buy a dash camera, you would go to your local Best Buy, and it's just about $500. It's a very expensive dash camera, very sophisticated. It's a well-known brand. It's a Rexon dash camera. Their office is located out of Pennsylvania, which is just around the corner. We're here in Virginia. When this dash camera records, it records in 1 minute increments. So every minute is saved into a 1 minute increment and is saved into a file. Literally, when you open Mustafa Al-Jazari file, it's saved in 1 minute increments. The outside is saved into 1 minute increments. The inside is faced in 1 minute increments. So there's over, I have to check my notes, but just about 500 files in 1 minute increments. Just about. I have to check the notes. But the point that I'm trying to make is it's saved into 1 minute increment files. And here Officer Zymas is telling us, although the last several videos recorded on the device did not appear to have sound. She's talking about several. For the love of God, someone Google what several means. Because when I opened this dash camera, none of it have audio. But you have a police officer with digital forensic out of Prince William County here in Virginia, put in the file, only several did not appear to have sound. Why do we have a full dash camera that does not have audio? Officer Zymas tells us there is audio. The document continues and reads, Officer Zymas says, the sound record feature on the device was turned on. So there should be audio. And this goes to the foundation of the case. You're telling us that Mustafa premeditated this, but left his giant dash camera there in the vehicle? And he did this on purpose, leaving his dash camera on there? And the audio is on? What are you talking about? All right, so Officer Zymas tells us that sound record feature on the device was turned on. So where's the audio? The document continues, and Officer Zymas tells us, which showed that the file did have an audio track. So this is Officer Zymas telling Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. And when was this document put in the Mustafa file? On April 24, 2023. In what world does it make sense that your digital forensic is telling you this dash camera does have audio? Only the last several files doesn't have audio, but the rest does. You come out, obviously, digital forensic is telling you this dash camera does have audio. You go and hire a lip reader? As a Commonwealth attorney, Amy Ashworth, in what world does it make sense that your digital forensic is telling you there is audio? I'm having a problem with this dash camera. There is audio. And you go and hire a lip reader. Why are you not hiring and investing in a digital forensic expert to look at this dash camera, look at the SD card, and look at getting the audio? Here, your officer is telling you there is audio. Ma'am, there's an audio track. You go and hire a lip reader? So instead of investing money in a lip reader, why are you not hiring a digital forensic expert? Well, when you watch the dash camera, you see clearly there is no argument inside the vehicle. This Commonwealth attorney is so terrified that she's hid this dash camera from the community. Because literally when you watch this dash camera, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette 6 times. But this Commonwealth attorney wants to tell you there's an argument inside the vehicle, that she went and got a lip reader. Well, I find it very interesting, ma'am, that your lip reader is not lip reading an argument. Well, how could he lip read an argument if there is no argument? If they're literally passing a cigarette. Not once, not twice, 6 times. Where is Julie Carey from this conversation? She ran with the story. She told the community the narrative out of the police department. And she's not updating the community that the digital forensic out of Prince William County, there's a document in Mustafa's file that they admit there's audio. Mustafa's defense attorney reached out to the prosecutor Sarah Sammy. And 5 times he scheduled an appointment to access the SD card. And 5 times she canceled the appointment. Not once, not 5 times. To the point where this defense attorney is so frustrated, he says, you give someone the benefit of the doubt, but then when they're fucking with you, you can't give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. He said 5 times she canceled. She told me that you can sit down, I'll give you the SD card, and I'll let your independent expert inspect the SD card. And 5 times she canceled it. Now I have to fight my way to gain access to the SD card. And what is he talking about? He's talking about putting in a subpoena through the court, go in front of Judge Carol Weimer, and ask him and demand that a digital forensic expert, independent expert, look at the SD card. Because you can download the audio that Officer Zymas is talking about. And there is other content on this SD card that's exculpatory evidence that will show that this prosecutor has been lying about the whole thing. The police department is not uploading the whole entire dash camera into the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. They're cherry picking what they want into the file. Exculpatory evidence. If you're not releasing everything, all the evidence, that's a Brady violation. This Commonwealth attorney, you have to put all the evidence on the record. There's a warrant in Mustafa Al-Jazari case that was submitted on April 5th. Now, this dash camera it has a large SD card. It has a very high capacity in recording. So it captures not just April 5th, before April 5th. There's a warrant in Mustafa Al-Jazari file on the 5th, but the police department only uploaded, I have to check my notes, I believe after 1 o'clock, 1:30. And then you ask yourself, what's going on and why are they, the warrant says April 5th. They're supposed to download all of April 5th. They only uploaded after 1:30. And what they're attempting to do is leave out a portion that will shed light on what is really going on in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. This is exculpatory evidence. When you no longer follow the warrant is no longer valid. The warrant says April 5th, and you start uploading it from 1:30. This file is sealed, so there's no way you or I can verify that. But now that we have the file, we can actually verify it. Mustafa's attorney has to fight his way for this prosecutor. He has to go through the court. And the question is, what is this prosecutor so terrified from? You're telling this community, you're building a whole entire case that Mustafa is arguing inside the vehicle, but yet you're terrified to release the SD card out to Mustafa's defense attorney to have an independent expert look at what Officer Zymus is talking about. What she's terrified from is the investigator that handled the dash camera, Chad Mason. Chad Mason, in a motion to dismiss, got on the stand, and he admitted to violating department policy. Now, what does that mean? On the stand, he said, I took the SD card and plugged it into my laptop. Wait a minute. You did what? There is a chain of custody when you're handling evidence. You're handling the most crucial piece of evidence in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, the dash camera. And you're talking about taking the SD card, plugging it into your laptop, and not going through the chain of custody? Now, here's the problem. When we're looking at this dash camera today, there is no audio, even though Officer Zymus admit there is audio. But this dash camera, the police department, the Commonwealth attorney is telling you there is no audio. But in their filing, they say there is audio. Julie Carey runs with the story that there is no audio. This dash camera is cut before impact. Wait a minute, what are you talking about? It's cut before impact. This dash camera cuts off before impact. I've never seen a dash camera that stops before impact. And then there are 17 frames. This dash camera has a view facing outward and facing inward. It sees the outside, it sees the inside. It has two lenses. It's one dash camera. Well, it has 17 frames missing from the inside of the vehicle. You have a investigator who says, I did not follow the chain of custody when I handled this evidence, and now it's edited. It's cut, muted, edited. Now, to get to the bottom of it, the defense attorney can hire an independent expert and take a look at the SD card. Because in the SD card, there is something called the metadata. The metadata is going to show you if Officer Chad Mason, who admit on the stand that he did not follow and violated department policy, he did not follow the chain of custody for this dash camera. The independent expert, the forensic digital expert that the Mustafa's defense attorney is going to hire, is able to look at the metadata. If Chad Mason tampered with this dash camera, he can find out. It's not difficult. And hence why the prosecutor is so terrified. Mustafa's defense attorney, he says 5 times in good faith, I scheduled an appointment and the prosecutor, Sarah Sammy, canceled on me. I have to fight my way to get this SD card. Now, you can tell by the metadata if this SD card is tampered with. And if it's not tampered with, you can also tell by the metadata, because you're going to be able to download the audio and download the full dash camera all the way up to the accident, not before it's cut off, before the accident. So the independent expert should be able to figure that out. It's been 2.5 years. The prosecutor has been blocking Mustafa, defense attorney, to hire an independent expert and look at the SD card. I mean, this is the most basic thing you can ask for in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. I mean, Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, if you have nothing to hide, why are you blocking the independent expert to look at the SD card? Your investigator, your police officer got on the stand and he said, I violated department policy. She tells the defense attorney, I do not want anybody to accidentally or tamper with the SD card. What the fuck are you talking about? Your police officer got on the stand and admitted to not following the chain of custody. That he took the SD card, the most crucial piece of evidence in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, and plugged it into his laptop. And today we have a dash camera that does not have audio and is cut before impact. And 17 frames are missing from the inside of the vehicle. And you tell the defense attorney, oh, I don't want anybody to accidentally mess with the card. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you terrified that the independent expert is going to look at this SD card and look at the metadata and figure out what is going on in this dash camera? So obvious. I don't have to spell this out for you. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Where is Julie Carey from this conversation? And instead, Julie Carey, oh, by the way, you don't have to take my word in anything I'm saying here. I'm going to release the audio of the proceeding where Chad Mason got on the stand and admitted to violating department policy and not following the chain of custody, plugging the SD card in this dash camera into his laptop. Judge Carol Weimer listened to Chad Mason say that. That's interesting. The judge listened to Chad Mason? Oh, that's right. Judge Carol Weimer, let's take a look at Judge Carol Weimer and who we're talking about. It's so comfortable because he's got Sheriff Glenn Hill. That's right, Sheriff Glenn Hill, who rolls in a giant machine, puts it at the door, and scan you from head to toe to make sure, just in case, anybody might record the proceeding. So terrified. They tell this judge, you have nothing to worry about, Judge Carol Weimer. Even if you hear Chad Mason, investigator Chad Mason, tell you that I violated department policy, I did not follow the chain of custody in this dash camera. Today I have a chopped up dash camera that doesn't have audio. Hey, maybe doesn't have anything to do with me plugging it into my fucking laptop. And Judge Weimer listens to him. He doesn't care. Oh, does it have anything to do with Sheriff Glenn Hill rolling down the whole entire machine? This is Judge Carol Weimer. He's so comfortable, this community is not going to know what is going on. They're not going to hear what Chad Mason is talking about. They're not going to see or hear what Judge Carol Weimer is watching in front of him, that he has literally a police officer telling him, I tampered with this dash camera. Because Sheriff Glenn Hill gives him the green light, he tells Judge Carol Weimer, sir, you have nothing to worry about. I've got a giant machine that I'm going to roll around to make sure, just in case anybody's recording, this proceeding is not going to get out. And that's exactly what they did. I mean, you should see what they do when you walk into the Mustafa Al-Jazari courtroom. Out of all the cases, the only case that has a giant, terrifying machine that will scan you from head to toe by Sheriff Glenn Hill is Mustafa. And you say, what are they so terrified that might get out? Maybe you're going to hear Chad Mason admit that he violated department policy. But I'll tell you, I want to thank the deputy sheriffs that are behind the scenes are not okay with officers that are falsifying and violating and engaged in police misconduct. There's no way I can record it. They scan me from head to toe. There's no way anybody else can record it. They scan you from head to toe. But I have the audio. And we're going to leak this audio. And we want to thank the deputy sheriff. They are going against everything, a whole entire system of corruption, and is still behind the scene providing you with the audio. Where today I tell you, you don't have to take my word for it. Because easily you can dismiss this conversation and you can tell me, well, how do I know that Chad Mason got on the stand and he said, yep, I violated department policy. I did not follow the chain of custody for the most crucial piece of evidence, that I literally took the SD card of this dash camera and plugged it into my laptop. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm going to give you the goddamn audio of the proceeding. And I ask you to reach out and call Judge Carol Weimer. I asked you to reach out and call Chief of Police Peter Newsham with Prince William County Police Department and ask him, how is this allowed? I mean, 2.5 years into the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, Mustafa is denied due process. They won't take Mustafa to court. Because literally, if you take Mustafa to court, Mustafa's coming home. This is a vehicle accident. And that they've lied about the whole thing. And those involved, those officers and prosecutors involved, they're going to end up in federal prison. So what did they do? They put Mustafa in solitary for over 2.5 years. Mustafa is denied court, his day in court, and they refused to put his evidence on their record. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy is blocking the independent expert to inspect the SD card. Ma'am, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Even if the lawyer has to fight his way and go through court and force you into giving up that SD card, we're going to do it. Because by law, Mustafa can hire an independent expert to go in and look at the metadata in the SD card and download the full SD card. We circle back and we ask, where the hell is Julie Carey? I mean, Julie Carey, let's look up who Julie Carey is so that way we have context in our conversation. NBC4, Julie Carey. This is Julie Carey with NBC4. Okay. What a trustworthy face. You've got a blonde white lady that has a monotone voice. There's no way Julie Carey would lie to you. There's no way. She's with NBC4, an anchor that covers what comes out of our community. There's no way she's going to lie to you. Well, buckle up and jump on this roller coaster because I'm going to take you for a full ride. I mean, I'm going to show you what Julie Carey put out on NBC4, and I'm leaking the file that is sealed and hidden by Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. And I'm talking about the body cams, the document, the actual dash camera that Julie Carey took out of context. Took out of context? What are you talking about? I mean, Julie Carey is chopping up at this dash camera, editing the dash camera, is releasing just about 4 seconds of this dash camera, and she edited the dash camera. I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, here's a situation. If I were to take this dash camera, chop it up, cut it, edit, and tell you this is the dash camera, and you find out that this is an edited version of the dash camera, you will flat out tell me, go fuck yourself. You have every right to do so. I'm sitting here. I mean, if I release an edited version of a dash camera, you have every right to do that. What if you find out that Julie Carey's doing that? We're going to go through what she released on NBC4, and we're going to release the actual dash camera. I mean, I'll tell you something that's interesting. This whole entire podcast, this idea that I'm going to take what Julie Carey released on NBC4 and I'm going to actually play the dash camera and show this community that Julie Carey is out editing this dash camera to cover up for the police department came to me in a fucking dream. I mean, this is a nightmare because even when I'm fucking sleeping, I'm podcasting. In a way, God is telling you what you should tell this community. We're going to go through what Julie Carey is releasing, and we're going to play the dash camera. And I want everybody to reach out to Julie Carey and tell her, why are you taking the dash camera out of context? Why are you editing this dash camera? Why are you lying to us? And hold her accountable. Hold her to what she's talking about. Talk to her. Reach out to her. I mean, by law, this Julie Carey is going to be held accountable. I mean, her credibility is shot because this community is watching. I mean, does she honestly think that this community is stupid? Does she think that this community is asleep? Or did she bet on the fact that the Commonwealth Attorney sealed off the file? You don't have access to it. I don't have access to it. That you can no longer verify that this motherfucker is sitting there editing the fucking dash camera. Interesting. Julie Carey's cell phone number is, let me see if I can find it for you. Julie Carey cell phone number with NBC4 is 202-359-8997. Let me write that down so throughout the podcast we'll go over it. Okay. Now, what I'm asking this community to do is reach out to Julie Carey and ask her, why is she releasing an edited version of the dash camera, taking it out of context, lying to this community? Why is she not updating the community now the file of the Mustafa Al-Jazari is leaked all over the internet? I mean, we clearly see the whole entire file, and it's that this police department lied in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. That Julie Carey ran with the story, and it's a complete lie. I mean, Julie Carey had no problem platforming the brother, the half-brother of Dorothy, on NBC4. And today we clearly see that he lied about the whole thing. Who is Dorothy's half-brother? Derek, she put him on NBC4. And today we have body cams. Doesn't even, is not in his sister's life. Doesn't know any detail in his sister's life. The kids, if they see their uncle, they don't even recognize him. But he's on national television. And Julie Carey is platforming this guy. And he's telling everybody, my sister was on the phone. She's telling her friend that Mustafa is crashing the vehicle on purpose. Well, you have the dash camera. It's on YouTube under Not Another Boring Podcast. Go through the dash camera. If you find that Dorothy is on the phone, I'm going to shut down my whole entire platform. If you find out that Mustafa and Dorothy are arguing, I'm going to shut down my whole entire platform. That's a very powerful statement. Show me where that they did not lie, and I'm going to shut down my whole entire platform. And I circle back and ask Julie Carey, you have no problem platforming the half-brother who today we have body cams that he doesn't know anything and he's flat out lying on national television. But you don't reach out to me? Having the full file, leaking the full file, and fixing your story? If I didn't know any better, you're covering up for the police department. You're hoping that this either goes away somehow, some way, that our social media is not that big, that the community is not watching. Well, I've got news for you, man. Our videos are reaching. One video that we released has reached on YouTube up to 40,000 views into this community. Another video reached 20,000. Another video reached 10,000 views. Our average is 5,000 views on YouTube. This community is watching this file being leaked on the internet. I'm talking about police body cams. You don't have to sit here and take my word for in any of what's going on in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. I'm releasing the document and the body cam that the community is watching, that you ran with the story and the police department lied. Now, the question is, why are you not updating this community on what is going on in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? Julie Carey's cell phone is 202-359-8997. And I'm calling on this community that when we're talking about what we're talking about, reach out to Julie Carey. Text her the body cams. It's on YouTube under Not Another Boring Podcast. Text her what we're talking about. And when you call her, make sure that you video record your conversation and upload it to your platform. And then tag our platform in it. We're on TikTok under Not Another Boring Podcast. We're on YouTube under Not Another Boring Podcast. We're under the same name on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Hold this anchor accountable by reaching out to her, have her in a conversation, tell her and have a conversation with her about what you're watching and the file that's being leaked, and you record your conversation. Let's get to the bottom whether we have fake news in our community. I mean, why is Julie Carey not updating the community about Officer Zymus? Well, let's watch what Julie Carey is talking about. I think that's fair. This is Julie Carey and what she aired out on NBC4.
Only on 4 tonight, newly released dashcam video shows the seconds before a car crashed into oncoming traffic and killed a woman and her young daughter.
Now, the man who has been jailed for more than a year, accused of intentionally causing that crash.
He's been jailed more than a year, originally charged with what exactly? Oh, that's right. Julie Carey aired that out, and she said that the investigator falsified the police reports. We went to Internal Affairs. We have an audio of the conversation between Mustafa and the investigator, that this investigator falsified Mustafa's police report. Let's listen to Julie Carey. And then we'll go back into what she's saying on NBC4.
On 4 tonight, there are new questions being raised in the case of a man charged with murder for a crash that killed his girlfriend and her.
When Julie Carey aired this out, 5 days before, Mustafa was charged with involuntary manslaughter. DUI manslaughter. Well, hold on. How could you charge Mustafa with DUI if the toxicology report shows no alcohol, no drugs? Now, this is a document. This is Mustafa's toxicology. For the love of God, send it to Julie Carey and tell her, ma'am, this is a document that has been released on YouTube under Not Another Boring Podcast. Mustafa's toxicology show blood alcohol non-detected. No alcohol. THC 0.0003. No drugs in Mustafa's system. And then when you open the dash camera, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette 6 times. Oh, what kind of cigarette is this? Dorothy has cancer. Dorothy is smoking hemp. Hemp doesn't have drugs. She smokes it for the pain. And this is the foundation of the whole entire case. They want to tell you that Mustafa and Dorothy are arguing back and forth, but they're not telling you that they're passing back and forth hemp 6 times. How could they be arguing if they're literally passing back and forth a cigarette 6 times? This is the toxicology. The toxicology show that Mustafa, there is no THC in Mustafa's system. No alcohol in Mustafa's system. So how is Mustafa charged with a DUI held from April 7 all the way to October? And the minute that you take evidence that showed that this investigator falsified Mustafa's statement, Investigator Robert Drum, in his police report, said that Mustafa told me I was arguing inside the vehicle. Mustafa's other brother, Muhammad, had recorded that phone call conversation. Mustafa never said that. This investigator flat out falsified the police report. And there's an audio to verify that. We took the audio to Internal Affairs. Within 5 days, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth dropped the DUI manslaughter and raised it and retaliated to murder. I mean, make that make sense. Let's listen to what Julie Carey is talking about. So let's go back. Now that we have the toxicology report, let's listen to Julie Carey. Why isn't Julie Carey updating the community that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth falsely charged Mustafa with a DUI? Wait a minute. How did you hold Mustafa from April all the way to October? And the minute that they're going to pull the warrant, you retaliate and upgrade it to murder? Why is Julie Carey not telling this community these details? And if she says she didn't know, well, now you know. Reach out to Julie Carey and update her with this piece of information. Let's watch Julie Carey and what she's talking about.
On 4 tonight, there are new questions being raised in the case of a man charged with murder for a crash that killed his girlfriend and her 5-year-old daughter last year.
They come after Prince William's police chief ruled the investigating officer had violated department policy. Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey spoke to the driver's defense attorney about why he thinks the finding casts doubt on the case.
Mustafa Al-Jazeera has been behind bars for almost a year now, accused of intentionally driving his car into oncoming traffic, a crash that killed.
What are you talking about? I mean, Mustafa was charged with a DUI manslaughter. You're saying that he's been held in a county jail on what exact? Intentionally driving into oncoming traffic? I mean, if you're charging him with intentionally, how are you holding him with a DUI manslaughter? And then you find that the actual charges, the actual toxicology show no alcohol, no drugs. But these people have held him, this Commonwealth attorney have held him on a DUI until October. What did she raise the charges? When? Oh, when Internal Affairs is telling her there is evidence that your police officer falsified Mustafa's statements on the police report, falsified the warrant, that they're literally going to pull the warrant. She retaliates and upgrades it to murder.
Dorothy Fontaine and her 5-year-old daughter, Empress, initially charged with manslaughter. The charges were later
DUI manslaughter, even though the toxicology report showed no alcohol, no drugs.
Later upgraded to second-degree murder.
Upgraded when Internal Affairs is telling the Commonwealth attorney, and specifically First Sergeant Sean Shelton. We have a phone call where he reached out to us, and he said, I reached out to Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. I let her know that this investigator falsified the police report, and we're investigating this police officer. 5 days later, she drops the DUI manslaughter and retaliates and upgrades it to murder. Ma'am, you charge him with a DUI when his blood toxicology show no alcohol and no drugs. And now that you have evidence that this investigator falsified the police report, you're retaliating and you're upgrading it to murder. What did the defense attorney tell us at the time? He said, if you take this to Internal Affairs, the Commonwealth attorney is going to retaliate. Retaliate how? By protecting her police officer. And exactly that's what she did. She upgrades it to murder to protect her police officer who lied. I mean, what do we find out now? In the Mustafa Al-Jazeera case, when we went to Internal Affairs and supplied them with the audio, we got a call from First Sergeant Sean Shelton. Sean Shelton admit that this officer lied in the police report, and he said he called the Commonwealth attorney. Now, a supplemental report is supposed to be written in the Mustafa Al-Jazeera case, correcting the initial police report. That Mustafa never said, I was arguing inside the vehicle. And you expect that Internal Affairs is going to investigate this police officer, Robert Drum, and hold him accountable and fix that report. I mean, at the time, there's no way to verify this because you don't have the file. But now that I have the complete file, that I'm leaking this file, I have access to the supplemental report. And in the supplemental report, what Internal Affairs did, they took the audio of the conversation that was supplied by the family. The audio that shows this investigator lied, that Mustafa never said I was arguing inside the vehicle. They took that audio, gave it back to the same investigator, Robert Drum, and had him write another supplemental report. And in his supplemental report, Robert Drum conveniently said, I could not hear the audio. How convenient. Sean Shelton can hear the audio. NBC4, Julie Carey is playing a portion of it on NBC4, but you cannot hear the audio. How convenient. I mean, wrap your head around. I mean, I can comprehend a police officer lying, but an agency within an agency, like Internal Affairs, to cover up for a police officer, I mean, that is unheard of. But you don't have to sit here and take my word for it. I'm going to give you the supplemental report. Read the supplemental report. Investigator Robert Drum says, I could not hear the audio. How convenient. How fucking convenient. Reach out to Julie Carey and update her with this information. Thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody. Tanisha, I love you, ma'am. I haven't seen you in a long time. Thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody for being here. We're broadcasting live on TikTok. We're broadcasting live on YouTube under Not Another Borum Podcast. I ask everybody to switch back and forth because there are exhibits that we're playing on YouTube that you can't see on TikTok. Let's go back and watch what Julie Carey is talking about.
Al Jazeera's
Really quick on Internal Affairs. I remember at the time when First Sergeant Sean Shelton with Internal Affairs reached out to us, and I have the phone call recorded, when he said that, yes, the police officer falsified your brother's statements. I reached out to the Commonwealth attorney, and I notified her that this investigator lied. Chief of Police Newsham is investigating this officer. We were so terrified at the time. We were so terrified at the time. We were so terrified at the time because, I mean, you already have a police officer that lied, and you have a prosecutor that doesn't listen. We were terrified that Internal Affairs maybe cover up for this investigator, and that's exactly what they did. So at the time, we went to the governor mansion, and we camped in front of the governor mansion. My mother, my whole family, we literally camped in front of the governor mansion. And at one point, we were there for a couple of days. Terrence Cole with Homeland Security, Governor Youngkin's Homeland Security, came out. Let me pull up who Terrence Cole is. This is Terrence Cole. This is Terrence Cole. At the time, he was Homeland Security for Governor Youngkin. Now he got upgraded to Homeland Security. I believe Homeland Security. Is he Homeland Security? But he's working directly for Trump. Now, Terrence Cole came out and he said, I want to talk to you, but I want to talk to you. I said, of course. Who are you, sir? He said, I'm Homeland Security for Governor Youngkin. And you guys have been here camping in front of the governor mansion. What's going on? So I told him, sir, we are terrified that Internal Affairs is going to cover up for their police officer. That Robert Drum falsified my brother's police reports. And now, First Sergeant Sean Shelton called us. He heard the audio of the conversation. He admit that, yes, the police officer lied. He called the Commonwealth attorney and told her, and they're investigating this police officer. But we don't have trust in this police department. We're terrified that Internal Affairs is going to cover up for this police officer. Terrence Coles is listening, and he tells me, and Terrence Coles remembered this conversation, and we're going to hold Terrence Coles accountable by law for telling me one thing and pretending like the situation doesn't exist. I mean, on his watch, this conversation, this situation is taking place. He's going to be held accountable by law. He tells me, he takes a look at my mom, and he says, my mom at the time was, we were all camping, literally sleeping in front of the government mansion. He said, your mother reminds me of my yaya. Yaya is a term, I think it's mother. It's a definition of mother in Russian or the Slavic area. That's what yaya means. He said, your mother reminds me of my yaya. He said, I'm scared for her health. Please take yaya home. And I told him, but sir, we're terrified that Internal Affairs is going to cover up for this police officer. He says, we are monitoring Prince William County. We're monitoring Internal Affairs. And on my watch, Internal Affairs is not going to cover up for this police officer, and they're going to make sure to hold him accountable. Trust that Internal Affairs is being watched personally by me, Homeland Security for Governor Youngkin. Now, Terrence Cole, you had that conversation with me. And we're going to be podcasting, by the way. We're going to be podcasting in front of the Governor Mansion. We're going to be podcasting in front of the White House. And you're going to come out, and I'm going to ask you, what happened, sir? I mean, at one point, we're going to have another conversation. I'm going to ask you, what happened, sir? And you can't dismiss my conversation because I'm going to provide you with the supplement report from Robert Drum. In what world is it okay that Internal Affairs gives this audio of the conversation to the same investigator only for him to write a supplement report that he says, I could not hear the audio? How convenient, sir. I can hear the audio for Sergeant Sean Shelton with Internal Affairs, who admit Robert Drum falsified the police report, can hear the audio. Julie Carey is playing a portion of it on NBC4, can hear the audio. You can hear the audio, but the investigator conveniently says, I cannot hear the audio. Our fear materialized on your watch. You said that you personally will monitor Internal Affairs. Well, here they are protecting this investigator. Where are you, sir? Where are you? Now you're directly working for President Trump, telling this community that you actually give a fuck about our community. What are you hoping, that we're just going to go away? That no one is listening? No one can verify or see what is going on? Don't tell me you care when you literally look the other way. I ask everybody to reach out to Terrence Cole and tell him, what's going on, sir? I thought you were monitoring Prince William County Internal Affairs. Why do we have a supplement? And I'm going to give you the supplement report. I'm going to release it on the internet. So that way, when you go to and talk to Terrence Cole, you have the supplement reports. So it's not my word against Internal Affairs. No, I actually have the supplement report where Robert Drum says, I could not hear the audio. How convenient. You've got a whole agency within an agency protecting a police officer. Where are you, sir? Now, let's go back to what Julie Carey is talking about.
Family insists the crash was an accident. The defendant's brothers filed an internal affairs complaint with the Prince William County Police, alleging the investigating officer, quote, falsified a portion of his police report to say that the couple was arguing before the crash. Al Jazeera's brother provided a taped version of a phone conversation that contradicted portions of the written police report. Last month, the Al Jazeera family received this brief letter from Prince William Police Chief Peter Newsham reading, the investigation revealed that Master Police Officer Drum violated department policy, therefore...
So they send you a letter telling you they violated that. Robert Drum violated department policy, but in the background, what they're actually doing is they literally handing the audio to the investigator only to say, conveniently, I can't hear the audio. How convenient. And then the prosecutor today still repeats the falsified report in court. So every time Mustafa has a bond hearing, prosecutor Sarah Sammy gets up and says, Your Honor, Mustafa told investigator Robert Drum he was arguing inside the vehicle. Well, this prosecutor is doing that because you never corrected the reports. The supplemental report literally says Robert Drum couldn't hear the audio. How convenient. I mean, you want to tell me they're not botching up and playing and falsifying this whole entire case? Absolutely. And this is done under the watch of, who's the presiding judge again? Carol Weimer? Julie Carey, about a year and a half into it, released a dash camera. Now, remember, the dash camera is sealed by Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. And then after a year and a half, all of a sudden, Julie Carey airs out a portion of it. Just about 4 seconds of this dash camera. Now, at the time, you can't verify this dash camera. But now you can. This dash camera is leaked on the internet, on YouTube, under Not Another Boring Podcast. You can go and watch the full dash camera. And what you realize is this NBC4 anchor, Julie Carey, is editing the dash camera. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips that she plays on NBC4. The first clip, she plays a portion, timestamp 3621. The second clip, she fast forward to 3642. The third clip, she fast forward to 3545. The fifth clip, she fast forward to 3645. She's going back and forth. Watching this on NBC4 and not having the full dash camera, you can't verify that this NBC4 anchor, Julie Carey, is editing the dash camera. And if I were to do that and release an edited version of a dash camera and tell you this is what happened, you will absolutely tell me to go fuck myself. And you have every right, because I'm editing the dash camera. If I edit the dash camera, you have every right to tell. But why is it that Julie Carey is on NBC4 releasing an edited version of the dash camera? At the time, no one can verify this, but now you can. We're going to go over what Julie Carey is doing, and we're going to watch the full dash camera. And I'm asking everybody to reach out to Julie Carey and hold her accountable. Ask her, why are you editing and taking this dash camera out of context? This is what Julie Carey put out on NBC4.
Only on 4 tonight, newly released dash cam video shows the seconds before a car crashed into oncoming traffic and killed a woman and her young daughter.
Now, the man who has been jailed for more than a year, accused of intentionally causing that crash, may soon bond out of jail. He faces 2 charges of second-degree murder.
Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey was in court today when prosecutors presented evidence, including video from that dash cam. And we want to warn you, some of what you're about to see is disturbing.
This is some of the dash cam video the prosecution played for the judge to try to convince him to keep Mustafa Al-Jaziri behind bars. It shows the moments before his car crashed into oncoming traffic, killing his girlfriend, Dorothy Fontaine, and her...
Why is Julie Carey not telling this community that the police department on a police body cam inspected Mustafa's vehicle and found brake failure? What am I talking about? This is a giant claim. But you can't dismiss what I'm telling you, because it's not my word against the police department. I literally have a police body cam where they inspected Mustafa's vehicle that show they found brake failure. Why is Julie Carey not telling this community there's brake failure in Mustafa's vehicle? Let's play the police body cam where the police inspect Mustafa's vehicle and find brake failure.
Brake didn't engage.
The police department inspected Mustafa's vehicle. By the way, there is a body cam on YouTube under Not Another Boring Podcast. This is about an hour, just about a little bit over an hour police body cam where they inspect Mustafa's vehicle. They find the front passenger calipers. Doesn't work. There's brake failure there. They find the back passenger caliper. There's brake failure there. The computer inside the vehicle showed that Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. Mustafa is attempting to stop the vehicle, but there's brake failure. But Julie Carey is not telling this community. Reach out to Julie Carey and ask her, why is she not updating the community that Mustafa's vehicle had brake failure? The computer inside the vehicle showed that Mustafa did everything he can to stop the vehicle. The vehicle would not stop. Let's go back to what Julie Carey is talking about.
This is some of the dashcam video the prosecution played for the judge to try to convince him to keep Mustafa Al-Jazari behind bars.
And what did he do, Judge Carol Weimer? Judge Carol Weimer watched the dash camera, listened to the audio that this investigator falsified Mustafa's statement, gave Mustafa a bond. 7 days later, the prosecutor, literally in court, she stands in court and tells him, Judge Weimer, the Commonwealth attorney will not be happy with you. What do you mean? 7 days later, they bring in, and the prosecutor is not even presenting evidence. She tells Judge Carol Weimer, Your Honor, Mustafa threatened a correctional officer. What the fuck are you talking about? We're no longer litigating the case. We're talking about Mustafa threatening a correctional officer. What's your evidence? She literally gets to proffer. Proffer is when she tells the judge without evidence. And then the problem here is when you actually open the file, literally there's evidence that the jail lied. That this prosecutor is lying. That is the other way around. The correctional officer had beat up Mustafa. And that Mustafa never threatened the correctional officer. I mean, in what fucking sense that you're sitting here, you're fighting for your freedom, only to come out and go back in jail? What are you talking about? I mean, the narrative that's coming out of the prosecutor is so ridiculous. And if it's such a, if it's real that Mustafa threatened the correctional officer, why didn't you say that in the first bond hearing? That you literally is manufacturing a situation, lying about Mustafa, and not even giving the evidence. And then when you find that the evidence in the file show there's a CCTV video, there's a witness that tell you Mustafa never threatened anybody, that they're lying about Mustafa. As a matter of fact, they're the correctional officer who beat Mustafa. Judge Carol Weimer is letting this prosecutor say whatever she wants without evidence and revoke Mustafa's bond? Interesting. Having the file is so powerful because I literally have the CCTV video inside the jail. I have the witness. The conversation is Judge Carol Weimer impartial in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? The evidence show he's not. He's allowing and he's covering for a police department, allowing a prosecutor to lie for 2.5 years. The evidence in the Mustafa Al-Jazari showed that Judge Carol Weimer has not been impartial in this case.
Shows the moments before his car crashed into oncoming traffic, killing.
Look at what Julie Carey is doing here. She takes a portion of the dash camera at 36:21 and then jumps to 36:42 and then jumps back to 35:45 and then jumps to 36:45. I mean, if I were to do that, you would tell me you're editing this dash camera. Why is Julie Carey editing the dash camera? Why is she not releasing the full dash camera to the community? And then when you find out why, they're telling you that Mustafa and Dorothy are arguing inside the vehicle, but they're literally passing a cigarette 6 times. Why is Julie Carey not telling us that? Why is Julie Carey not telling us that the Commonwealth attorney is lying to us? I mean, this is a dash camera. Let's continue watching what she's talking about, and then we'll go into the full dash camera.
This is some of the dash cam video the prosecution played for the judge to try to convince.
Watch the number at the top left corner, and these are the timestamps that Julie Carey is literally editing out of the dash camera.
Him to keep Mustafa Al-Jazari behind bars. It shows the moments before his car crashed into oncoming traffic, killing his girlfriend, Dorothy Fontaine, and her 5-year-old daughter. There is no audio, but prosecutors say the couple's facial expressions indicated they were arguing, continuing a fight that began earlier in the day over a former boyfriend. Then, as the car reaches an intersection, it veers left into oncoming traffic. Prosecutors saying Al-Jazari did it intentionally.
Why is Julie Carey not telling us why the dash camera stops there before impact? I mean, hold on now. I've never seen a dash camera that cuts off before impact. And then when you find out that literally the investigator that handled this dash camera is on the stand telling Judge Carol Weimer, Chad Mason tells Judge Weimer on the stand, and I have the audio of the proceedings, so you can't tell me it's my word against this investigator. No. Chad Mason gets on the stand, and he said, I took the SD card, plugged it into my laptop. I did not follow the chain of custody. Chain of custody is when you're handling evidence. He violated department policy, didn't follow the chain of custody when he's handling the most important and crucial piece of evidence, the SD card, the dash camera. He plugged it into his laptop, and today we have a dash camera that stops before impact. 17 frames are missing from inside the vehicle. What am I talking about? Let's go to the dash camera. Let's count the frames together. This dash camera records in 1-minute increments, and in Mustafa Al-Jazari file, there is 2 files. One file for the camera facing outward, for the lens facing outward, and one file for the lens facing inward. This is one dash camera. This is a very sophisticated quality dash camera. It's a Rexon dash camera. I mean, their office is just around the corner out of Pennsylvania. We're here in Virginia. And this is a well-known brand. It's one dash camera that sees the outside and sees the inside. Why is it that I have a file facing outward, the lens that's facing outward, at 8.3, 8 minutes and 3 seconds? The file for the lens that's facing inward is at 8.0. There is no way this dash camera would fall on different frames. I mean, if we were to entertain the narrative that's coming out of the police department, a Prince William County Police Department, that this dash camera somehow, some way, cuts off before impact. There's no way that it does that, but if we were to entertain this bullshit, why is it sitting on 2 different frames? There are when you count the frames, there are 17 frames missing from the camera the lens facing inward. And you ask, why is that relevant? Well, it's relevant because we're watching a dash camera at the last moment of what actually took place inside the vehicle. The narrative that's coming out of the police department, they tell you there is no facial reaction on Mustafa's face. But when we're watching this dash camera, that is not true. They've lied about the content of the dash camera inside the vehicle. And then you find out that it has 17 frames missing. When you watch the inside of the dash camera, you see that Mustafa's jaw is wide open. This is Mustafa before the dash camera cuts off. You see Mustafa, jaw is wide open. He's reacting to the accident in panic. He sticks his tongue inside his cheeks in panic. But they want to tell you there is no reaction on Mustafa's face. What are you talking about? Mustafa is panic. His jaw is wide open. He sticks his tongue inside his cheek in panic. And all of a sudden, you are looking at a dash camera that has 17 frames missing from Mustafa's reaction. Let's count the frames. together. Let's count. You want to tell me that Chad Mason, who got on the stand, who told Judge Carol Weimer, I took the SD card and I plugged it into my laptop. Yes, I violated department policy. Yes, I did not follow the chain of custody. Did not edit this dash camera. There is no way that it would sit on two different frames unless someone manually cut this dash camera. Let's count this dash camera together. Now, what you're going to see, when it gets to 8 seconds, the outside will continue rolling while the inside is cut off. Let's watch that one more time. For the love of God, someone explain that to me. How does a dash camera continue rolling on the outside while the inside is turned off? And when you count the frames, you see that 17 frames are missing. 7 at 8.0. The inside cuts off while the outside is still rolling, and then it cuts off before impact. And you want to convince me and tell me that this police department, specifically Chad Mason, who got on the stand and says, I plugged this SD card into my laptop, did not manually cut this dash camera? Why is this prosecutor so terrified that Mustafa is going to hire an independent expert, that Mustafa's defense attorney is going to hire an independent expert? By law, you can hire an independent expert and go in and download the SD cards and look at the metadata. The metadata is going to show you if this SD card is tampered with, if this SD card that Chad Mason plugged into his laptop. The defense attorney says, 5 times I scheduled an appointment with the prosecutor, Sarah Sammy, and she canceled. In good faith, I'm scheduling an appointment, and she's canceling on me. Now I have to fight my way, go up to Judge Carol Weimer and demand, which by law, Mustafa has access to, hire an independent expert, a forensic digital expert, and look at the SD card. We're going to get to the bottom of it, whether prosecutor Sarah Sammy likes it or not. Now, the Commonwealth attorney is terrified from this dash camera because literally when you open the dash camera, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette. Not once, not twice, 6 times. She's talking about that she hired a lip reader. Well, why is your lip reader not lip reading the argument? I mean, this is a giant question. Reach out to Julie Carey, reach out to the Commonwealth Attorney Office, and ask her, ma'am, you have a document that Officer Zymas admit that there's audio in this dash camera. And instead of hiring a digital forensic to invest in getting down to the bottom of where's the audio, you hire a lip reader. Okay, why is your lip reader not lip reading the argument? Is it possible your bullshit lip reader is lying to us? I mean, how could you lip read an argument when there is no fucking argument? Let's go over this dash camera. I mean, this Commonwealth attorney is so terrified that she sealed off this dash camera. A fucking miracle happened where now it's leaked on the internet. And when you open it, what do you see? You see that Mustafa and Dorothy are literally passing back and forth a cigarette 6 times. This Commonwealth attorney wants to tell you that they're arguing inside the vehicle, that you should take her word for it, but she's not giving you the dash camera. Well, I'm here to tell you that this Commonwealth attorney, Amy Ashworth, is not giving you the dash camera because when you watch the dash camera, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette 6 times. This is Mustafa and Dorothy. And in this dash camera, you see that Dorothy is passing a cigarette to Mustafa. There's a boombox in the back. This is a JBL speaker. And if you know what a JBL speaker, there's lights that go back and forth. When the light go back and forth, depending on how fast the light go back and forth, they're listening to music. So she wants to tell you, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, tell you that there's an argument inside the vehicle. But But we just saw that they're listening to music, and Dorothy just passed a cigarette to Mustafa. This is Mustafa passing back and forth a cigarette back to Dorothy. I mean, I'd like you to put yourself and imagine that you're sitting in a car and you're literally your significant other sitting next to you, and you're literally you want to tell me that you're going to argue with your significant other, but you're going to pass back and forth a cigarette? Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is so terrified that this community is going to call her on her bullshit, and that's why this dash camera is sealed. Dorothy is giving Mustafa direction. This is the second time Dorothy is giving Mustafa direction. They're on their way. Dorothy had asked Mustafa to take her to her mother's anniversary. And we watch on the dash camera clearly, Dorothy, I mean, look at what's going on here. This is a very interesting clip. When you look at Mustafa and what Mustafa is saying, Mustafa is clearly telling Dorothy which way. Listen, watch. And Dorothy is giving him direction. Look at Mustafa. His cell phone is connected to the JBL speaker in the background. So he's relying on Dorothy to give him direction. He's telling her which way. And she's giving him direction. She tells him, keep going straight. You know what's really interesting? Amy Ashworth hired the lip reader. And the lip reader is telling you here, Dorothy says, I want to get out of the car. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I don't have to be a lip reader to tell you what is going on in this dash camera. Clearly, Mustafa is telling his girlfriend which way, and she's giving him direction. Literally, they got done passing back and forth a cigarette. And then when you continue watching this dash camera, they're going to continue to pass back and forth a cigarette. Let's keep watching. I mean, Prosecutor Sarah Sammy is so terrified that she not only wants this community to see the dash cam, she doesn't want this community. She sealed it. Now she's attempting to conditionally enter this dash camera into the jury. What does that mean? Conditionally enter the dash camera into the jury means that the jury is not going to get to see the full dash camera. She literally wants to chop up a couple of seconds in between Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back a cigarette, brings a bullshit lip reader, and say, Dorothy says, I want to get out of the car. Wait a minute. If you literally rewind this dash camera, 30 seconds, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette. If you fast forward this dash camera, 30 seconds, you're going to see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette. 6 times they pass back and forth a cigarette. Now, hold on. Wait a minute. I thought you were telling us there's an argument inside the vehicle. Why is your lip reader not lip reading an argument? Oh, that's right. This is Dorothy giving Mustafa direction for the 3rd time. And then afterwards, she gives a cigarette. Mustafa passes a cigarette back to her. Your lip reader is not lip reading the argument. And how could he lip read an argument if there is no fucking argument? They're literally passing a cigarette back and forth. I'm asking everybody to reach out to Julie Carey and ask her and tell her, ma'am, we are watching. The community is watching. Julie Carey's phone number is 202-359-8997. Now, reach out to Julie Carey and tell her that we watch you report on the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. We watch your report on the Mustafa Al-Jazari case on NBC4. You ran with what the police department said. Well, now, ma'am, there is a file that's leaked on the internet that contradict everything that the police department and the Commonwealth attorney has said. Where are you? We need you to update us on the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Why are you not reporting that this vehicle on a police body cam found brake failure? Why are you not updating us on the full dash camera that literally we're not seeing this argument they're telling us about? Why are you not updating us on the police department with Officer Zayas admit there is audio in this dash camera? Why are you not updating us that the toxicology report literally show no alcohol and no drugs? And what Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth is hemp. It's a toxicology report that we see. No alcohol, no drugs. Mustafa THC level is 0.0003. Dorothy has cancer. They're passing back and forth. Hemp. Hemp helps her with the pain. It has no drugs in it. This is the foundation of the whole entire case. The Commonwealth Attorney wants to tell us they're arguing inside the vehicle. But when we open the dash camera, we literally see Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette 6 times. Why is this NBC anchor Julie Carey not updating us on that the investigator, Chad Mason, violated department policy? Why is she not telling us that this dash camera is cut and edited before impact? That this police department muted the dash camera, cut this dash camera before impact, took 17 frames out of the inside of Mustafa's vehicle. Why is Julie Carey not updating us? Reach out to Julie Carey and tell her, why are you platforming the brother who clearly lied to everybody on national television? Derek, the half-brother, lied to everybody on national television. This is what Derek, the half-brother, said.
My sister was on phone with another one of her friends while this was happening.
Now, Julie Carey platformed the brother on her channel. This whole entire community got to see Derek and Derek lie about Mustafa. And then when we open the police body cam, we see that Derek doesn't know Mustafa. He says, I don't know Mustafa. He says, I don't know anything that's going on with my sister. I'm not in her life. The kids don't recognize him. If he was right there in front of them, they don't even recognize him. So what is he doing on national television? What is he doing with Julie Carey platforming him on national television, telling this community that my sister is on the phone, Mustafa did this on purpose, that my sister told her friend she's on the phone that Mustafa is crashing the vehicle on purpose. I'd like everybody to go to the dash camera. It's on YouTube under Not Another Boring Podcast. Show me where Dorothy's on the phone. Show me where they're arguing. And if you can do that, I will shut down my whole entire platform. That's a very powerful statement. Julie Carey platforms Derek. This is a portion of a police body cam where Derek says that he doesn't know Mustafa. Listen to what he says.
Yeah.
Occurred on your end that.
I mean, as soon as Prince William found out that I was the brother, it pretty much all just
floodgates just opened and.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then hospital and police and everybody involved just came online.
He's going to ask him, do you know Mustafa? He's going to tell investigator Romero, I don't know anything about Mustafa.
Do you know anything about the background between your sister and
Divine or Moses?
No, and Moses.
All I know is that she met him at a Wawa. That Wawa that's like right across the street right there.
Up here on the corner?
Yeah.
Route 1 in Cardinal?
Yeah.
Okay.
She met him there. He was living with her. He's not on the lease though, but he's staying there.
Was he staying there like full time?
Yeah. He was living with them. And as far as everything else, I've pretty much learned from the kids. I don't know a lot about their relationship. Frankly, she's made a lot of bad choices in her life, which is why she kind of keeps me out of these things, because she knows I'm good.
Derek doesn't know anything about Mustafa. What did Tanisha Coleman, the neighbor, says about Mustafa? About Derek? Let's hear what Tanisha Coleman says about
This
Derek.
is what I'm going to do.
She tells this is a conversation on a body cam between Tanisha Coleman, the neighbor who took possession of the kids, with Robert Drum, who ended up falsifying Mustafa's police report.
Kim, what's your last name?
Coleman.
Gomez?
Yes, Coleman.
Oh, Coleman.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm going to have somebody swing by. We're going to try and track down next to kin.
They try to call Derek. What's your uncle name? Your mom's brother's name. Derek. I think his name is Derek. It's not Fontaine. It's Horton.
Derek, the uncle, this is what Tanisha Coleman tells the uncle, that if the uncle was right there in front of them, they don't even recognize who their uncle is.
Where does he live?
Do you know your uncle? They don't even know their uncle. That's the problem. They don't know nothing. They met him one time and that was it.
Okay.
At their little sister recital or something. They don't even know him. They said that they walk past him today or tomorrow, they probably wouldn't even identify him.
All right, so the kids right now are at 20.
He says he doesn't know Mustafa. He doesn't know Mustafa. He doesn't know anything about his sister. He's all the way in West Virginia, 4, 5, 6 hours away. The kids, if he's right there in front of them, wouldn't even recognize him. But Julie Carey platforms this brother, and he's on national television telling everybody about Mustafa.
With another one. My sister was on phone with another one of her friends while this was happening.
So my question is, why is Julie Carey platforming the brother who we know doesn't know anything about Mustafa, doesn't know Mustafa, doesn't know anything about his sister, doesn't know the kids? Oh, is it because he's lying about Mustafa that Julie Carey is platforming him because he's giving you the narrative out of the police department? I mean, Julie Carey has an obligation to this community to tell us the truth. She platformed a brother who doesn't know anything about his sister, doesn't even know Mustafa, but she doesn't reach out to me, the person that has the file that's leaking out the whole entire file, police body cams, document that showed that this police department lied. That show the story that she ran with out of the police department is a lie. That this is a vehicle accident and the police department lied. Why isn't Julie Carey reaching out to me when I have evidence that the police department weaponized the children against Mustafa? I mean, is this not child abuse for the police department to lie to children only to put them in a forensic interview to turn them against Mustafa? Why is Julie Carey not telling this community there's a Google Nest video inside the apartment that show that Mustafa loved his family? In a forensic interview, 14-year-old Javen, tell you, Javen, the 14-year-old child who we see in a Google Nest video, loves Mustafa, who Mustafa took on the role of a father figure in his life. And you don't have to take my word for it. There is a Google Nest video inside the apartment. The day of the accident, the day before, and the day before. It shows it's a beautiful relationship. But what does that child say in a forensic interview? That the police department lied to him, put him in a forensic interview. I mean, he says that investigator told me, and he's specifically talking about investigator Romero, that Mustafa ran away, left his 5-year-old baby sister to bleed to death, and they could have saved her. if it wasn't for Mustafa running away. You want to tell me that's not child abuse? Mustafa was in and out of consciousness. Mustafa went into a complete coma. Mustafa was helicoptered to the hospital. What are you doing telling a child that Mustafa ran away, left your 5-year-old baby sister to bleed to death? We could have saved her. What do you mean? Why are you lying to these children? And then you put them in a forensic interview. You're weaponizing these children against Mustafa. Does Julie Carey not care about children being abused by the police department? Why is Julie Carey not telling this community there's brake failure in Mustafa's vehicle? Why is Julie Carey not telling this community that Mustafa was beaten up by guards inside the jail, abused and being denied medical? There are so many questions. She reported on the story. She can easily reach out to me. I'm leaking out the file that shows that the police department lied. She has no problem reaching out to the brother, who clearly is just giving you a lie of a narrative. He's just lying on national television. I mean, we just heard the body cam where he says, I don't know anything. I don't know Mustafa. I don't know my sister. I'm not in her life. I don't even know the kids. But he's being platformed by Julie Carey. But the guy that has the file, Julie Carey, is looking the other way. I find it interesting that Julie Carey is not reaching out to me when I'm leaking out the actual file that's sealed by Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. You want to tell me that she's not covering up for this police department? Well, you, the community, hold her accountable. Reach out to her. This is how you can hold her accountable. You can reach out to her. Her cell phone number is 202-359-8997. Her cell phone number, Julie Carey's cell phone number. This is Julie Carey. Julie Carey's cell phone number is 202-359-8997. You, as the community, I'll tell you how you can hold her accountable. You can reach out to her and make sure you video record your phone call conversation. And then release it on the internet, on your social media, and tag us in it. Our TikTok channel, our YouTube channel is under Not Another Boring Podcast. And ask her, Julie Carey, you have an obligation to this community. You ran with a story, with a narrative of the police department. We're watching this YouTube channel release documents and police body cam that show that this police department lied. What you reported on is a lie. And ask her to update the story. Update you on the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. On that note, thank you for being here. This is Not Another Boring Podcast. Mustafa threw the police body cam, and I leave you with a beautiful video from Casey, a person that's been tracking Mustafa's story for over, I think just about over a year and a half, 2 years, that's demanding the same exact thing. Julie Carey, for the love of God, can you please update us on the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? You told us one thing, the file is leaked. We need you to update us on what is going on in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. And I'll leave you with this video.
Creeping on you is...
Hi, guys. Well, I've got another...
This is Not Another Boring Podcast. Mustafa threw the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer, you're under the microscope.
Letter gentleman mail out, and this one's going to go to NBC Channel 4 News to the reporter Julie Carey, who did Mustafa's story from the accident. So this is for you, Julie. I know you watched the podcast and everything regarding this case, so this is for you, and I'm going to read it to you, and I'm going to mail it to you, and I'm going to email it to you. So anyway, here we go. Dear Ms. Carey, in April 2023, I watched your news broadcast regarding the case of Mustafa Al-Jazari, and after thoroughly reviewing all the body camera footage and documents released by Not Another Boring Podcast across various social media platforms, I must express serious concerns regarding the accuracy of the narrative presented in your report. The evidence I have seen, including the footage and documents, clearly shows that this was a motor vehicle accident, not an intentional act as suggested in your coverage. The facts do not align with the narrative you put forward, and it appears that critical information was either overlooked or misrepresented in the segment. Given this, I respectfully ask that you do a follow-up report with Mustafa Al-Jazari's family, who hold evidence supporting his innocence. This includes clear documentation regarding the mechanical failure of his vehicle and findings from the investigation that suggest police misconduct. Mustafa's treatment in custody, including prolonged solitary confinement and allegations of abuse, further underscores the urgency of revisiting this case. As a journalist who has the power to shape public understanding, your platform has the potential to correct the misleading narrative and bring justice to light. I urge you to give the Al-Jazari family an opportunity to present the full scope of evidence they have. Thank you for your time and for considering this matter. I hope you will take the necessary steps to ensure this case receives the comprehensive, accurate coverage it is so desperately needed. Sincerely, KC. So, Julie Carey, you got a letter coming. And everybody out here knows I wrote you, so let's see what you're going to do. If you're going to ignore this case or you're going to just go ahead and do what we asked you to do. Okay, talk to you all later.